Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make my alpaca pillow. It does use Tunisian crochet, so you are going to need a Tunisian crochet hook. This one is a 10 millimeter. The yarn that I used for it is Bernat Maker Outdoor. This is a really cool yarn, so if you can get your hands on some, I definitely recommend it for this pattern. If not, it is just a bulky yarn. It's made with acrylic and nylon, so that's why I like it. It's really stretchy and just really nice smooth yarn to work with for this pattern. So to get started, we're just going to chain 27. And if you wanted your pillow to be a bit bigger, you can just add a chain length. The number doesn't matter, but I just recommend adding 2 extra chains at a time so that your alpaca will be centered in the middle of your pillow. So I did 27 and it comes out a decent size. So as you're doing that, just make sure you don't pull your chain too tight. You want it to have a loose tension, and for this not to be super tight. And that's one good thing about this yarn is it's already pretty stretchy. But just don't pull your yarn too tightly when you're working. Okay, so this is our chain length that we have. We're gonna first start with the foundation row. So instead of working in the front like we would for normal crochet, you just want to rotate your work, and we'll be sticking our hook in the back bump right here on the back of the chain. So you're going to skip the first chain closest to the hook, and you're going to start in the second chain from the hook. So just rotate your work and insert your hook right under that back bump and pull up a loop. Just the next one, just insert it in, pull up a loop, and you're just going to do this all the way across the chain until you get to the very end. Okay, so I've worked my way across. That is the forward pass of our foundation row. And now we want to do the return pass. So to do that, you're going to chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time on your hook. So the return pass is going to be exactly the same throughout this whole pattern. When we get to the color work to make the alpaca, I'll show you how to do that, because you will have to switch your working yarn. But this return pass is always going to be the same. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops at a time until you get to the end of the row, and you have 1 loop left on your hook. Okay, so I worked all the way across and I have 1 loop left on my hook. This is the foundation row. So 1 row consists of 2 passes. So you're going to have a forward pass where we worked our way this way, and then a return pass, which we just completed. So that equals 1 row for this pattern. So you can see on your color chart, this entire section that we just made is the row that's labeled 1. So we don't have a separate row for each, the return and the forward pass. It's just gonna stay the same. So we're gonna do 1 more row before we bring in the white yarn to make our alpaca. So this is the stitch now that we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the pillow. It's called the knit stitch, and it's a super nice stitch, and it's called that obviously because it resembles knitting. So to do that, you can see you don't yarn over anything. I've got my one loop on my hook. We're gonna skip this first vertical bar right here on the end, and we're gonna work our stitch into these second vertical bars right here. So you can see there's a front vertical bar and a back vertical bar, and we want to insert our hook right in between those. So you can see the front one is in the front of my hook and the back one's on the back. Just stick it all the way through under your work and then yarn over and pull up a loop. And that is it that's one stitch right there. So you want to do that all the way across your work. So here's our next vertical bar right here. There's the front and the back. Just insert your hook, pull up a loop. Go into the next one, insert your hook, pull up a loop. It's super simple and it's a really quick stitch. So I'm just going to work all the way to the end. As you're doing this, just continue to hold your tension loosely. Once you get the hang of it, it's a really quick stitch to do. You're just pulling loops across. Alright, and once you get to the end, we're going to make an edge stitch. It's really simple, just a little bit different from what we have been doing. So here's our last vertical bar. If you turn your work, you can see that there is two. There's the front and the back one. You want to make sure you stick your hook through that stitch. So there's two on your hook. Then you're just going to yarn over and pull up a loop. That will give your left side of your work more of a firm look to it, and it won't be loose. After you do that, all you have to do is chain one. You're always going to do a chain one after every row. After every forward pass, you're always going to do a chain one before completing the return pass. So make your chain one, then yarn over and pull through two loops, and just do that all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so now we have 2 rows complete. You can see I have 1 loop left on my hook. And now row 3 starts the row where we will start doing our color changes. Okay, so we're on row 3, and this is the row that we're gonna have our color changes in. The first 5 stitches don't have a color change, so your stitch on your hook counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the 6th stitch is where we are going to bring in our white yarn, or whatever color you're using for your alpaca. So to do that, just insert your hook into that 6th stitch, bring in your new yarn, and pull it up just like that. So we have 2 stitches on our chart that are white. If you look and see, your 6th and your 7th stitch is the bottom of the foot of the alpaca. So you're going to want to stick it into the stitch right after that. yarn over, and pull up that loop as well. And then after that, it goes back to the blue yarn. So drop your white, pick your blue back up, insert it into the next, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So you can see that we have 5 blue, 2 white, and then here's another blue, and you're gonna work your way. So you're just gonna work your way across with the blue till you get to the next foot. Should be 8 stitches, so you want 8 blue loops on your hook. Right, here's 8, and so we're getting to the next foot, so you're gonna have to pick up your white yarn again. You don't want to tug it too tightly because it'll make your work curl or be cinched, so just loosely pick it up, insert your hook into the next stitch, and bring up a loop with the white. Insert into the stitch after that and bring up a loop with the white. Then you can drop the white, pick your blue back up, and continue to the end.